Okay. Hi, Dragos.
Hi, Kapsin.
Hello, Dragos.
Christian. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for being here. It's the first day of our news rehab.
Thank
Which
you
is
for having me.
A pretty terrible name, but it's...
No, I like it.
You do? In the end?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like it because, you will explain why, but I really love the name.
What's the idea? I'm not sure why I'm here.
And you accepted.
Without...
I
So
trust
you
you.
trust me.
I trust you from last year theme. So I
very
keep the
good.
trust still.
Yeah, we were looking for something related to detox, health, thinking that, learning that we all were going through. We went through a difficult period and we need some better tools to inform ourselves. So this whole series is really about how we inform ourselves. And you have a really unique position because...
And how we read the
we read.
information.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have a unique position because you came from the journalism world, went into tech, and so you kind of have a unique 360 view that
Right.
many other
Yeah,
people
you know,
don't have.
the less you know, the happier you are. So
Yeah.
I'm in a uncomfortable position to understand the whole ecosystem, and I'm not sleeping well at night because of that. Because
Oh, I thought that because of the cat.
also because of the cat. And knowing the way journalism changed in the last 20, 25 years, and how we hoped at some point that the new technologies will help journalism thrive and so on and so forth. Now we see a very bad impact in the way truth is valued, and this is very sad. And that's why in the last few years I started to speak publicly about this matter. In my humble opinion, we have a problem that is deeper and is a systemic problem. Is not only a consequence of some wrong algorithms and so on and so forth. It's about a whole ecosystem that is designed to spread misinformation, and I will try to explain why, and I will try to explain why I'm frustrated sometimes, because all the discussions we are having about fake news, misinformation, and all this chaos we are seeing in our digital lives, I'm frustrated seeing that most of the discussions about this matter are just scratching the surface. Okay. They are not addressing the real problem. We are discussing endlessly about the effects, and we are not looking at the cause, at why this is happening. Really, why? We are obsessed in commenting the results, and not to understand and then maybe treat the source of what's going really wrong.
And what is the source?
But wait a second, before you going into really deep debriefing regarding all the sources of the bad technology and algorithms that is causing what we will talk about, bad news today and disinformation, let's talk a little bit why and how you start journalism and how actually, because this is very important, because you are not somebody that it's just making money out of media just because you want to have a job.
Let's say I was obsessed with truth my whole life. So I've started like a very young student, but as a radio journalist at the beginning, and then because I'm based still in Eastern Europe, and
you trying to leave soon, or why you saying still?
I'm considering.
Really?
I saw this development that is very difficult to be understood by some someone that spent his or her whole life in the Western world, because at the beginning, right after the communism was not here anymore officially, we started to understand what free expression, how free expression works, to tackle journalism and to see a lot of good journalistic institutions appearing. And then things get a little bit messy. So then big different moguls, media moguls came into the picture, and then the big tech just ruined everything. In my
They
opinion,
saw opportunity.
This was the point when I was deciding to quit journalism. I'm not a journalist anymore, and I started my entrepreneurial career in media business and in digital advertising, again in digital marketing events and so on and so forth, because after the big tech exploded, everything became like a chaos. And I think the biggest mistake we are doing, and I'm trying to avoid this mistake in our conversation tonight also, is that we all have a major bias. So somehow we are biased. We are biased, and we are not discussing the real matter that is behind all this mess. And the real matter, in my opinion, is that everything is about power. And in this journey to power that we all have, we came to the conclusion that the truth is not efficient anymore. The truth is boring. And I will try to explain this. In today's world, if you want to gain power, even if we are talking about economical power or political power or any kind of power, due to the fact that we are all connected and so on and so forth, we need data, and we need not only data, we need first-party data. First-party data means that we own the data that we are using. So, for example, in your case, using social media, using global tech, using mainstream media, television, whatever you used, you convinced an impressive number of people to join your platform. So basically now...
It's a community.
Okay, it's a community. This is what Mark Zuckerberg is saying too.
We can find a word then.
We'll talk about it.
You have this power in your unfinished platform. Basically, people that are watching now, they trust you, and they gave you their data, and you are trying to be constructive using their data and I don't know, exchanging different ideas and so on and so forth. But what if unfinished is not designed in order to make good to the world and so on and so forth? But anyway, if you have first-party data, you have power. If I know that you're into arts, if I know that you're organizing a festival and so on and so forth, it will be more easy for me to start a conversation with you in a bar or in a public place. The same applies to political parties, the same applies to companies, and so on and so forth. And who owns this data now, today? Big tech. And that's why it's very important for us to look at big tech with very carefully, and to try to be constructive, to be constructive watchers, and to try to monitorize what they are doing, because it's important in our life. And
but how do you think we can do that?
Yeah, and do you think we can stop
doing that
something
already.
that is so
We are
Or
doing
what?
that already because everything that is related with how big tech is working is related with this party data, and if we trust them, we need to also ask for some explanations. We need to understand how the advertising world
Yeah.
is working, and I think this is a very important topic for us to understand how the ecosystem is working and why the data is so valuable. And I think where things were getting really messy is where we forget about the fact that behind each piece of fake news or each piece of misinformation or each piece of clickbait story, there is a business model. And this is somehow the main problem. You asked me about my previous journalistic career. So when I was at the beginning of my career, you couldn't just trade advertising without discussing with the salesperson or without discussing with the journalist to publish content and so on and so forth. And this layer of having a discussion with somebody that is saying, okay, this advertising is good and this the piece of story is true because I checked this piece of information. This democratization of this whole ecosystem is the main cause of everything that is not going well now, because each click, each minute we are spending digitally is paid by somebody. Is paid usually by an advertiser, and we are calling this news feed. And this, as a former journalist, this is painful to me. To name news feed something that is combining advertising with content, with different stories from people that I don't know, and so on. So everybody is now a journalist, and so on. So and this is a
But don't you believe that this is in a way the biggest problem is that we are not educated to understand the real business behind, because we don't understand, like we like, we give hearts and so on, but in the end of the day we don't realize that we are part of a huge problem, making that doing
There's nothing wrong in doing business. There's nothing wrong in selling products. What is wrong, in my opinion, is the fact that
manipulate masses.
The main problem today is the fact that, as I said before, the truth became irrelevant. Because truth is not efficient. If you want to attract people, if you want to grab attention, you need to exaggerate a little bit, to put more colors, to promise something that is completely fake.
Storytelling.
The problem
we love stories. That's why.
Yeah, we love stories. Sometimes we love stories more than we love the truth.
Yeah.
But why I'm concerned and why I do think that this kind of conversations and open conversation, maybe even with big tech, are very useful and necessary, is the fact that actually the difficulty the bigger problem is that we are fighting with a human nature. Why? Because we like power, we like money, we are greedy, we are not always altruistic, we are selfish by design. And if somebody designed for us a tool that allows us to gain attention, money, data, and to be more powerful, we will use this tool.
Yes, but because we are not educated. If you are educated, you cannot manipulate me. If we are more educated as a community, as a country, as a nation, we will not be manipulated by disinformation from social media. We will believe more the science.
One of the theses I do like a lot is because it's sort of funny, is the fact that the main problem of Facebook, for example, is the problem that Facebook really accomplished the vision of connecting everybody in the world.
So no Nokia.
In the end, they realized, oops, now we connected everybody, and
the
turns
communication.
like it's not the greatest output. Why? Because we are seeing ourselves in the way we are, and yes, it's true. Unfortunately, in different parts of the world, and especially we are seeing now with the pandemic in our part of the world, education is a big problem. And now what we are talking about for years now became obvious for the whole planet. So if there is something, I'm afraid to use this word, good in this pandemic, if we are reporting this to what's happening in the news world, is the fact that now is clear for everybody that this system that is maximizing only the audience and only the interactions, only the engagements, and a system that is designed technically to grab as much data as possible is incompatible with the idea of truth.
For us, for this bubble,
But we are
for
doing,
normal people, from people that are simple, like, I don't know, workers in factories and so on, they don't understand the big picture. They don't understand that they are victims
they don't
because of
understand,
lack
but
of education.
that's the I think this is our mission. Everybody who understands what's going on, it's our duty to try to explain to everybody and to educate everybody, and
self-educate.
and also to self-educate. We are becoming now a part of a stupid game where we are every day working to produce more and more attention and to produce more and more data that we don't own, and we don't know how this data is used.
Yes.
And with what purpose. And that's why I think big tech will eventually
Collapse.
give up and admit that there is a problem, and they will become more transparent, and they will eventually really do something, not only giving grants for journalism and so on. Grants for journalism from big tech is similar with a tobacco company sponsoring healthy life event or something. It's hypocrisy.
Dragos, in US, we have this big old association of representing the guns.
Yeah, it's working
do you
the same.
think this will ever break? No. It's the same also with the big tech. They have such power and lobby everywhere that they will never disappear.
I will be optimistic, but depends on what standard you are defining this optimism. The first idea is that we are in a very early stage of this thing. We are learning every day, and they are learning every day. And I'm a huge fan. I'm not ironic at all. I'm a huge fan of the technical abilities and the innovation that big tech pushed to the world. I think there are a lot of very good consequences of this thing. What I do believe also is the fact that sitting together and discussing constructively about this matter maybe will give us the chance to solve this matter. But it's very early, and the fact that basically we are fighting with our own biases and our own imperfections, and the fact that we are also loving fiction, we are loving lies, we are using sometimes lies. It's sounds so profound. So it's not only it's very easy to say, okay, it's Facebook's fault, it's Google's fault, it's TikTok's fault, it's whoever else's fault. It's not my fault. It is our fault too.
No, we are part of the problem.
We are
100%.
part of the problem. Which each click we are giving, which each share we are saying, Look, for example, we are talking about education. The simple fact that we are sharing something being outraged in social media is a mistake. Why? Because the author of this piece of content was thinking about this reaction. So it was like, okay, I will write something to get Christian or Capucine annoyed or outraged, because they will share it and complain. They will complain about this. And if they will complain about this in social media, I will gain another impression, another click, and I will be paid by the programmatic advertising
We have
platforms.
a question that relates a little bit, I think. How
From
can,
the okay.
community, from Isabella. How can you make truth more exciting, and should we even?
How to upgrade the
one
truth.
of the ideas I really like is to make truth great again, and I think we have to work hard to make truth more spectacular, to make truth more interesting, to translate the big news.
To have a marketing for truth.
Exactly. We need a marketing agency, a global marketing agency.
That's it.
Yeah.
For truth. And okay, what I do believe also is the fact that we are also part of the problem. It's not only the big tech problem. We need to understand that. And yeah, we all need to think about ways we can do or make truth interesting again, appealing again, sexy again, to make it like a TikTok, you know.
Yeah.
They have this very good commercial tagline: "Don't make ads, do TikToks." And I think we need to apply this and to defend the truth. But it's very difficult. Why? Because unfortunately, and this is a reality, truth is boring. Truth is not that spectacular, and this is a problem. But I think the solution is to start a global conversation on the idea to put truth maybe on the same level with the importance we are giving to the healthy food or not polluted air. Because
and again, it's education.
And
how
again, it's education,
grow our kids knowing and be aware of what they eat, but in the same time what they eat for their brain.
Yeah,
so
there's no system of learning. There's never a class in school or a course in teaching
in
how
France
to inform.
they are.
No, they're
Multimedia, I know very well. This I really wanted in
I
some
do
point
think the solutions are starting somehow to appear, but it's obvious that we need a global conversation and a constructive conversation, and we need to get rid of hypocrisy, and we need to assume that we are also part of the problem. Why? Because I repeat this, it's a business model, and as far as we are not trying to internalize this information, that there is a business model and we are part of this business model, and we need to understand that. I think we will have those discussions maybe 10 years from now, and we will be frustrated more and more. In an optimistic approach, I will say something like, the problem will be solved for sure, but it will take time. And I have this comparison I'm using quite a lot on the fact that, for example, in tobacco industry, we had this discussion for more than 50, 60 years. So 50, 60 years ago, we had those ads, doctors saying like smoking is healthy and so on and so forth. 60, 65 years later, we are still debating. Okay, we see tobacco companies that are now encouraging theoretically people to get rid of cigarettes and move to new devices and so on and so forth. But it was a global conversation for half a century, okay, before getting into some results. So this will take time. This will require painful discussions and painful truth to be internalized by everybody, not only by us, but big tech politicians, governments, advertising companies that are also part of the problem. So
I think it's more than 50% of the problem. It's advertising, because you feed something, you talk on a language that it's so poor, so.
I'm pretty sure that we have a lot of people from media agencies and advertising agencies that are watching, and I'm looking to the camera and I'm asking, what's the percentage of the budget you are investing every day in feeding the beast, in feeding global tech, and how much do you allocate each day in running campaigns with journalistic websites? How much? 10% maybe, or 15%? If you're investing 10% only from each 100 euros you're investing in advertising, only 10 or 5 or 15% in real journalism and in this industry of truth, then you have what you're seeing. And so stop complaining, start being part of the problem and become part of the solution.
So to put it in very, very practical terms, you're saying not advertising on Facebook, but advertising on Le Monde.
We are saying that we as media people, I'm talking now with media agencies, with advertising agencies and so forth. Okay, let's cut the crap and let's admit we are part of the problem. If we are investing from a client, that the client is giving us, 100,000 euros to run a big advertising campaign using digital advertising, and we are choosing only to run this on Google, Facebook, and TikTok, and we are not thinking about even considering, investing in some serious journalistic projects, or investing in some
startups
that are trying to solve this problem, then we are part of the problem also. So stop saying stop smoking if you're smoking 2 packs a day. So okay.
We have another question. What do you think about the influence of anonymous forums like Reddit and 4chan and their impact on fake news versus real news?
I think that it's a very good thing that we have all those platforms and we can express ourselves freely. It's very important, especially in the countries that are not too democratic, let's say. But when you're mixing this with the possibility of generating profit out of this, is where things are getting blurry. So for me, it's not normal to see that, an influencer that is doing anything for views, anything, and I mean anything for views, is getting paid more than, 10 persons newsroom that is fighting to expose corruption. It's definitely something wrong with this ecosystem if this is happening, and this is happening. We are seeing newsrooms from all over the world struggling, letting people go, and we are seeing, on the other hand, big internet stars, influencers. Okay, they're okay. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Sure. It's entertainment is part of who we are and what we do. But when you see
they don't understand the power that they have. No, I'm totally against, because
but we always had New York Times and the Sun or whatever. So entertainment is part of who we are as humans. What I'm saying is that is not.
But theater is not enough. Movies are not enough, really.
But it's not
clear,
black and white.
It's clear that there is a problem with the whole ecosystem if we value times more this thing compared with what really matters in our lives. who we are voting with, what decisions we are
Again,
taking.
education.
Yeah, and also the need for good education. Anyway, I think in order for us not to get too frustrated, and in order for us not to get mad, maybe we
No,
need
it's
to.
a evening conversation.
we
Oh,
need to
and,
zoom
you're the
out.
one
I'm
being
not.
quite
Sometimes I'm
aggressive.
pissed because I remember so many times when I hit it or I see it in front of me, such a waste of money of brands that are throwing money on somebody that I'm sorry, is totally, they don't have a job and now they are influencer and they...
And this is not even the worst part, because if you are looking at a very superficial influencer that is, I know, training muscles or whatever, and it's gaining maybe more than a very serious newsroom that is doing investigative journalism, it's okay. But what is not okay really is the fact that we are also having those so-called social media stars that are pushing forward very dangerous ideas, and
Look
they
about
are,
COVID fight and so on.
exactly, and they are gaining traction and they are gaining credibility using the same ecosystem. And why big tech is not doing nothing for real? Because those guys and those mother
Entities.
they are generating like 8 times, 9 times, 10 times more engagement than a
Then,
responsible piece of content. And they can say whatever they will say in public conferences. They can do whatever they do with different grants for journalism and so on and so forth. This is the truth. It's very profitable to have them there because they are very efficient. They are like a very successful TV show that is generating huge audiences and huge revenues for the station, and doesn't matter what is going on in this show, okay? But one thing is to see, I know, those crazy Asian entertainment TV shows that are people that are doing anything to grab the attention of the viewers, and this is, let's say, zero consequences. Okay, you're not evolving and you're not becoming a good or worse person, but this is one thing. But when you use the same techniques and you're promoting dangerous ideas that are cost lives, like as we speak, and you as a platform, you're not adjusting the algorithm, you have a big problem, and you have to address this problem at some point and get rid of the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And if everybody will talk about that, and everybody will understand that they can do stuff, they can do take measures to solve this, I think at some point they will do it, and the pressure will come. It's already happening from inside, okay? Because employees and all the people that are in a key position are starting to talk about this, and I'm pretty optimistic. But again, this will take a lot of time because we are talking about a lot of money.
Yeah, we need soon to close, but
no, we have another.
Oh, okay.
No?
Okay, sure.
And then I have a question.
Okay, but 1 second.
Okay.
In my opinion, they will not change. Why? I remember very well a big company of mercenaries, private security companies in Iraq and Afghanistan. Because the pressure, because of the scandals that they went through and the public money that they went through them, they changed the name.
That's why. That's why I'm saying.
Now Facebook is rebranding because of the scandals.
That's why I'm saying that it will take time, because we are fighting with human nature, and we like it or not, humans are not perfect yet, and humans, they are selfish, they are greedy. They want more money, they want more power. Everything is about power, about money. For example, you know, like both Google and Facebook just they exploded
during the pandemic. Of course.
So why? Because everybody was there because new social media content producers and influencers arise, and they created huge engagement.
Yeah.
Huge engagement means more clicks, more impressions, more money, because advertising are paying for those ads, and they are getting results. And if you're going to your superstore or corner market and you're buying soap or whatever you're buying, you don't have to be very smart to do that.
Of course.
If you're paying for the stuff and you're taking it's for them, everybody's happy. The truth is not happy, but business wise it's very profitable.
Yeah.
Let's
So
get
this question-
very fast to
this-
the last question.
this-
But Ivrazvan, that is really
adding.
the team behind us from
We're
session.
adding already.
Okay, so
Yeah.
perfect.
So this question is, what should we do at a personal level to counteract lies in different aspects of everyday life, like aside from self-awareness and self-imposed constraint? And maybe connected to this is, what are your information reading habits, and what are things like, what are the tools you have?
I think in this point the most important thing is to understand the ecosystem and to understand how this works and to understand why this is happening. I think this is crucial to understand that it's about data, it's about power, it's about business. It's very simple. So, period. Each action, each minute, each second we are spending in digital media and in media in general is paid by somebody. Okay, and this is very important because we can think about that. We are waking up in the morning. We are saying, okay, can I do something healthy for, I don't know, maybe going to the gym or reading 3 pages from a book I like or whatever, or should I check the scroll? Well, 1 minute of scroll today in the world is valued around 260,000 euros, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the revenue.
So see, that's why in Unfinished you pay with your time.
Yeah, but
Time is value. The other thing I'm recommending to everybody to make also Christian happy is, of course, education and to understand and make a very clear difference between what media is and what journalism is, because media content it's fine. I'm also consuming, I know, TikToks, or I'm reading easy stories, or I'm watching a comedy show or whatever. Okay, it's normal. The brain also needs that, but one thing is one thing, and journalism is another thing. And what is journalism? How journalism must be integrated in our daily lives. This is something that we need to teach our kids at home or in schools, and to make this difference. And why journalism is important in democracy. This is a very important discussion. Why journalism is important, is crucial in democracy. Why? Because without good and independent journalism, and journalism that is serving the public interest, we don't know how to vote.
Yeah.
We are voting like morons, and the results are there.
The ones that we have.
And as a closing question, I'm just wondering, us as Unfinished, we do advertise on Facebook, correct? So would the ethical thing to do be to stop and advertise?
You can use a hammer
and
to...
we spend very small amount of money.
Actually, it's partnership, but anyways.
Because they give it to us to spend it.
Because we are talking we are talking to people. But
like I
mentioned,
mentioned at the beginning,
and we have 1 minute.
You can collect data, and you can use data in a constructive manner or not. You can use a hammer to build a house, or to build a beautiful festival like Unfinished, or you can kill somebody with the same hammer. So this is also our decision, and is also an important discussion we have to conclude.
Great.
Anyway, so
Thank you.
take care and put
Thank you very much for
the healthy information at the bigger level in your daily priorities, and 10 years, 20 years from now, the problem will be solved. It's still
We are
very
trying with ADOS talks.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Dara.
Thank you.
Thank you.